Okay, it was a really large topic to cover, and there is a lot of homework too. So first of all, take a look at these tools: Metasploit framework, ExploitDB, which is not actually a tool, it's in fact a collection of publicly disclosed exploits for different software. Yeah, so it's really nicely categorized between local, remote, command execution, denial of service, and so on. So just browse around and see how actual exploits may look like once disclosed. Volatility framework is really interesting to play around, and I totally recommend that to do on your free time. Yeah, and Conboot, just look around what it does, and maybe find a few bucks to buy it and see how it works in action, because it's really interesting. It works against Linux, Mac OS, and of course Windows. Then a really nice taxonomy of different memory corruption vulnerabilities is given by Google Project Zero on their blog. The fundamentals of Windows privilege escalation, another blog, another tutorial, which is quite cool in a few ways. First of all, it's quite wide in different ways they try to represent Windows as a really insecure platform, but most of the tricks they use are already irrelevant in the latest versions, but some of them still work. So you can see how a typical process of privilege escalation attempt may look like once you're in, okay, or you have a local access to a normal user permissions, normal user account. This is the software security course on Coursera that I have recommended along the video. So it's quite nice, I would say. I enjoyed that very much. It doesn't cover any it doesn't cover much application programming, so it's more system specific, it's system centric. It doesn't include anything about web applications, at least it didn't when I went through that course. So it's more of a theoretical basis for further development of those skills, but it gives a lot of information and the basis for understanding of how things work, how computers work, how memory bugs, system bugs, all that stuff can be compromised. And most importantly, it gives you an idea of what can and cannot be automated, and if can be, to what extent it can be automated in the application security world, because we all know there are all those static and dynamic security scanning engines that try to find vulnerabilities in an automated way, but this course discloses the limitations the algorithms that are used by those tools have in the design, and that information is really useful for an ethical hacker in order to understand in order to get the understanding of where the manual skill, yeah, where the actual professional stands out and cannot be replaced by an automation tool, at least for now. Okay, and this is the original article in FREC issue 49. Yeah. About memory corruption bug, widely known as buffer overflow. And there is this tutorial for null share exploitation. This video was really long, and I didn't want to pay much attention to this really historical vulnerability, misconfiguration, I would say, even not a vulnerability, but you could take a look at this tutorial. You see it's dated somewhere in 2008, so it's quite obsolete, but still it gives an idea of how badly things were in Windows world back then. Okay, so thank you for your attention, and in the next section we will discuss web applications and the exploitation of web service and web applications and web services. And later, before that, we will put our hands at using some of the tools I have introduced in this video, and you will see how cool the results could be, even in very modern and the latest Windows distributions out there.